Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Is the microphone working good? If you can give me a thumbs up or a yes, you can hear me fine in the comments, that would be awesome. Hello? Is it working? Looks like it is. All right. So, anyways, thank you for joining us for the 1K subscriber special. Do greatly appreciate it. Been watching the comments come through, and I see that everybody has their thoughts on what headphone sounds best for my voice. I recommended these, and they are the Sennheiser HD 600. I see a couple people here have them currently on. So is that a good assumption that the Sennheiser HD 600 is a good match for my voice? I would be very curious about that. And thank you very much, Christopher, for the congratulations. We greatly appreciate that. Hello to Evan and Leonardo and Martis and a bunch of others that are in the stream. Greetings. Going to do a quick shilling. So I do apologize, but got to do some salesmanship here. If you really enjoy the stream and like it, give a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you know whenever we go live or a new video is uploaded. Also, while you're in live chat, you can use Super Chat if you really want to get known abroad. Make your comment visible to me. You can use Super Chat and it'll flash it on my screen. And I will give you a shout out and all that good stuff. Also, you can connect to our Discord. I'm going to watch the main stream on the Discord and see if there's questions in there. Or you can go through and connect to Patreon and support the channel that way. All right, shillings are done. So anyways, back to the Sennheiser HD 600. This is my overall favorite headphone, especially for vocals. But recently, there's been a headphone that has kind of started to unseat it. And those are these. And those are the Ether Cs from Mr. Speakers. Now, these are the originals. And so these are not the flows. They have just the big old huge pads inside there. And that's about it. I mean, they're pretty standard. And me likes a lot. I still prefer the HD 600 for vocals, but the Ether C is the kind of the overall one for just pure enjoyment for me. So anyways, let's see. So Evan says that the 600 is very good with the voice. So that's good. Thank you for confirming that. So now everybody needs to go and get themselves a Sennheiser HD 600 and join the club of DBS Tech Talk. So anyways, while we're still talking about them, I do have two cables that I actually prefer with my 600s. And so my balance cable that I use, this is by I think it's Fan Music. If I remember when this stream ends, I'll go and put a link for this cable. And it is a little long, but who doesn't like a long cable every now and then? It is fully nicely fabric, and it's nice. And then the other one is this real thin one that defaults to a 3.5, and it's made by Acrolink. And it's nice and short. It's about 4 foot long, perfect, very light. And so if you're using your 600s in a more, you don't need a long cable or you don't need balanced, that cable works great. So anyways, those are the two cables that I love with my 600s. And they're fairly cheap, if I remember correctly. Evan, you need to get some ethers. They complement the 600 so well. If I wasn't doing reviews and had all this other stuff and I just didn't love gear, I could easily be happy with a pair of 600s and Ether Cs. I really could. Anyways, what's the best DAC according to you in $300 USD range? Well, if you want to spend exactly 300, I would say the SMSL SU8. It's balanced, and you have RCA outs. Also has all kinds of settings. You can use remotes. It has all kinds of filters, and it has plenty of connections. If you want only balanced, you really don't need to go all the way up to 300. You could do something as good as a little Grace Design S-Stack balanced off of drop. But you are limited to only having one balanced out. The other option for a DAC that I really enjoy and has both balanced and RCA, but is limited in that it doesn't have USB in, is the Geshelli Enog 2 Pro. And that runs about 180, 189, somewhere in that range. So those are my three choices for DACs that I would really highly recommend. But depending on if you only want like USB in or coaxial in with the Grace Design S-DAC balanced, if you need all of it, every input possible other than Bluetooth, you could do the SMSL SU8. And then if you don't need USB, the Enog 2 Pro from Geshelli. So those are my three choices. The best one of those three, I actually prefer the S-DAC balanced of those three. To me, it just has a little bit more of refinement and a darker background than the others. The Enog 2 Pro has a tendency to be a little bit V-shaped at times on certain cans and with certain amps. And the SMSL SU8 is very good, and it's extremely close to the S-DAC balanced. It's a toss-up. Can't go wrong with either of them. Let's see. Thank you, Intuit, for the congrats, and you'll get there. You're growing. You'll get to keep doing your thing. And let's see, what else? Did I miss a question? I think there was. You've only done the SU8 of those, but I second that on Dave. Awesome. All right. So yes, if you have questions, throw them out there. Also throw them into the Discord. If you're on Discord, I am kind of watching that. I'm going to put these away though, so I don't drop them. All right. So everybody knows I'm into coffee, and I'm not, I'm not the biggest coffee snob. And so, yeah, I actually do drink Starbucks. Normally, I'm more of a Starbucks guy as far as getting like a Frappuccino or caramel macchiatos, that type of thing. I'm not really into their roast too much, but my wife is. And we were going through the store, and we just happened to see this. Now, this is a special edition, and it's the Blonde to Sunrise blend. It's... If you like a light roast and something that has just a very tame flavor as far as coffee, this isn't bad. You should give it a try. If you don't mind Starbucks. I actually got addicted to Starbucks because of my job. The Starbucks was actually one of our biggest customers for the longest time. And so, hey, gotta support your biggest customers. And so anyways, there you go. I think that's the reason why I actually like the blondes, because the blonde coffee is because it has more caffeine, and I work third shift, so got to have gumption when you first wake up. Which headphone amp do you recommend? Well, we will Since it's still on my desk, the all in, I don't care how much I'm going to spend on an amplifier. The best one is IFI Audio Pro ICANN. Uh, Hands down. It's a fantastic amplifier. But it's also anywhere between $1,700 and $1,800. So I understand that it's not always in everybody's budget. So of all the others, let's do amplifiers based on price, and then we'll go from there. So budget wise, we'll do $150 in under. If you want just a basic, very easy plug and play single-ended amplifier that will power most headphones, the JDS Labs Atom is a very good, clean sounding amp. It has plenty of power. You got high gain switches. You got RCA in, RCA outs. Works very well. The Geshelli Labs Archel 2 and 2.5s are also very good recommendations. The Archels do have a little bit higher output impedance, so they don't always play as well with lower sensitivity headphones. The 2.0 and 2.5 do a better job than the original, but it still struggles a little bit. But they have a very clean sound also, but they can make things sound a little V-shaped every now and then, depending on your headphone. The overall favorite of mine outside of the IFI Audio Pro is the Monoprice Monolith THX AAA 788. I just find that it has a smoothness and just a way of being clean and musical and not being harsh on the ears at all, no matter what the volume, no matter what the headphone is. It can take the brightest of headphones and the most sharp headphones that you want, and it'll tone them down. For example, you may have seen my review of the Bass Audio G12, which is a Grotto clone. It's not a very good Grotto clone. The peak on it is way too much in the treble, and it dips way down in the upper treble. So it's very shouty and aggressive. But actually on the THX, it did better than any of the other amps. So for $150 or less, JDS Labs Atom Archel Pros from Geshelli. $150 to $300. I would go anywhere in the Cavelli range out of drop. The LCX and the CTH are very good options. LCX has a nice little warmer touch musicality. You do miss out a little bit on details, but it's a very good amplifier for the cost. The CTH is an amazing little tube hybrid, and it plays extremely well with Sennheiser HD 600s and with full cal ELEX. And then if you want to go tube, you could go with the only tube amp that I have, which is an APPJ PA1502A, which is basically a knob sound little bear. You can find it all over the place on Amazon and on eBay for about $180 to $200. And it's a very good amp, and it tube rolls very well. But if you want to go above 300, I would go with the THX 788. If you want standalone, I haven't really explored any of those. So some of those are incoming, though. Spoiler alert. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. What else we got? What is your opinion on Nespresso? Actually, I have never tried Nespresso. I hear it's got a very unique, because it's in the pods, right? I hear it has a very unique taste. The only other pods I've used is K-Cups. And how about the Liquid Spark? I actually have never heard the Liquid Spark. But somebody in the comments may, if Mr. Farsel, the wizard's around, he would be able to answer that question pretty good. And I think Intuit might. Argon or ELEX? Okay, so the ELEX is very, I would call it immersive and has a brighter signature than some, but it's not bright as in like Sennheiser HD 800, that type of bright. It's more of a just a brighter tone, and it has really good bass impact, and the mids and stuff are very good. It's very full of clarity and immersion. The air that it does, and it just has things whizzing around your head. It's a very unique sound that, taking the HD 600 and add soundstage to it, and bring down the mids just a little bit. Elex kind of sounds like that. If you take the Argons, why am I pointing to them? I don't even have them. Well, anyways, if you take an Argon, big bass, just extended, thumpy, fun, just and then the mids are very lush, smooth, but you don't have quite the details and the clarity as you do with the Elex. And then the treble is very rolled off on the Argon. The Argon has good detail in the treble. It's just very laid back and mellow. I don't think you could get those to be aggressive and shouty no matter what song you played on them. Okay, Intuit, that's a good thing. You say that the Mark II is more balanced, whereas the Mark III does have a little bit of that peakiness. So yeah, I can understand that. Liquid Spark is darker. Okay. So when you say it's darker, is it just like a warmer, thicker sound, like kind of like a tube can have, or is it just a more just muddy sounding amp? I'm just curious. Oh, by the way, I am from just outside of Buffalo, New York. So sorry, I am a Buffalo Bills fan. At least they've made the playoffs a couple of times. Liquid Spark is good, but it has a warm ting. Okay, yeah. So if you're, as long as it doesn't really color up sound too much, I don't have a problem with something having a little bit of a warmer tint to it. Like the Cavalli Liquid Carbon X has that. It has a little bit of a warmer tone, but it's not like imposing on the actual quality of what you're hearing. But if a Liquid Spark it could be. And I got a response over here. I have to remember my monitors on the other side. Farsal is saying, so see what he's up to. And so anyways, Jets, huh? From New York. I actually am one of those people that if my main team is in like the AFC, I will have an NFC team. And since I'm from New York and the NFC is the New York Giants, I'm kind of a Giants fan also. Sorry. I just can't. I just can't do the the Jets. No. Buffalo. Let's see. Exactly warmer, thicker, not as detailed in comparison. Okay. And then so has anybody tried USB-C in-ears? So these are the Samsung ones that I got with my phone, which is the Samsung Note 10 Plus. And I had no real experience with USB-C in-ears. And my previous phone was the OnePlus 7T. It didn't have a headphone jack, only had a USB-C, but I used a dongle. Excuse me. And so when I got the Note, it came along with these AKG tuned in-ears. And I was skeptical. I left them in the box for a while, didn't really try them. And my brother-in-law got some with his phone, and he tried them kind of and was like, eh. So I was like, okay, I'll try them when I get home. And so you put them in, and they're actually fairly comfy for the weird shape that they are. They fit snug, even with the stock tips. Didn't have a problem with that. They have plenty of angle. They isolate decently. And Samsung, now this might be different on your phones. I don't know. But on Samsung, you can tweak your settings. So they have this, I can't remember what they call it, but it's a setting where you can change if you are a certain age. And it shows a little graph of how it adjusts things. It's odd. They're doable. So, like, if I was going to go running, which I never do, these would, stay in my ears, and I wouldn't have a problem with them if they broke because, hey, they came along with my phone. If I was going to do workout in yard, mow the grass or whatever, they're, I wouldn't have a problem with them getting chopped up by the blades if they fell out accidentally, something like that. But I definitely would not recommend them. They're a little too bassy for me and a little bit muddled in the details. Thank you, Martin. Do greatly appreciate it. Welcome into the stream. But speaking of that, so here's my OnePlus. If anybody wants this, okay, if you live within the United States of America and you want this dongle, hit me up on Discord and I'll ship it to you. You can have it. It doesn't work with my Samsung. It only worked with my phones. So you have to have a OnePlus apparently. I don't know. Anyways, see if I can open it here. So this little itty bitty dongle was what I used with my OnePlus, and it's all right, not great, but it was doable for pretty much any cheapies. And then I have 2 sets of OnePlus earbuds. And again, you're more than welcome to them. Just hit me up on Discord, and US only if possible, preferred. And these are also USB-C. Now, they don't play on my Samsung, so I don't know if they'll play on other phones. I only have a Samsung. So if you want them, they're yours. I have 2 pair of the OnePlus USB-Cs, IEMs, and then a dongle. Free to whoever wants it in the United States that is currently watching on the stream. So have at it. If you watch this afterwards, if they haven't been claimed, hit me up also. If you're not on Discord, check out the link down below. So we got Samsung phones only work with Samsung dongles. Hey, good to know. I do greatly appreciate that information. And learn something new every day. Let's see. Good YouTube channel here, but stay tuned for more to come from me. Oh, Mr. Michael. Yes. Michael Hayes is yet another YouTuber. Check him out. And let's see. Can't really use other third-party ones. Okay. So they pretty much only work with whatever manufacturer is. So if you have OnePlus, here you go. All yours. And in fact, if you want the Samsung ones, I will even ship those to you if you want that. Evan, do greatly appreciate. How old am I? All right, let's see how awake everybody is. I was born in 1975. But I haven't had a birthday in 2020 yet. UPS man is here. So while you all think about that, I will be right back. I need to go sign for a package. No signature. Wow, awesome. All right. I guess we're doing an unboxing. You are absolutely right. I am 44. I am 44. I'm not. I'm not too old. I'm not too young. I'm in my prime. That's what I claim. I look 30. That's because of the camera. Yeah, the camera takes 10 or 15 years off. Okay, so we got some dog medicine. My dog has an ear issue that needs to take care of, so got that. All right, what do we got here? Okay, so this is from Richard. Actually, sorry, not Richard. Omega. I read your thing. So this is from Omega. Beep. Forget that part. And he's returning gear, so this is nothing new. This is some stuff that I actually loaned him. Lots of plastic. One thing that Omega does very well is he packs things really good. I'm really impressed by his packing skills. All right, so we've got the SimGot EN700 Pros. And he really enjoyed these. So if you are looking for an IEM of $100, $120 range, these are actually a really good option. So SimGot EN700 Pros. I would show you more on the box, but they do the black on black writing. Why? Why do people can't even read it? It's not even worth it. All right, and then I get my babies back. So we got the Santa Claus bag and some T50s. So these are the ZMF Classics, and with the belt headband. If you're going to get a headband strap for T50s, I do not recommend a ZMF one. It literally is thicker and stiffer than the belt that I use to hold my pants up. So don't get that one. Get the Cascadia Audio one. And then you got standard cable. And just to verify, I do have my ZMF card. And then also the Forza audio cable, which is the single-ended version. And kitties, you enjoying that box down there? Hey, don't destroy the box. Cats are literally like chewing the box apart. Cats. There, you can get inside that part. Don't destroy my ZMF box. All right. All right, so let's see. Back to the questions. Box says, nope. Chuck Testa. Gotcha. Do you prefer IEMs, headphones, or speakers? I'm not really into speakers, and that's not just because I don't like them. It's more of I don't really have the room for them in my current setting. And then out in the living room, I have been told by the woman of the household that speakers are ugly and obtrusive and get in the way, and so they're not allowed. We have to have soundbar. So the only speaker that I have in my living room is a subwoofer. So yeah, I'm terrible at that. So speakers, I would love to get into speakers. I just don't have really the room or the capabilities for it at the time. Headphones or IEMs? Okay. I would lean towards headphones over ears, not on ears. So IEMs have a purpose for me and a place, and I really do enjoy them. And as I've been getting into like higher end IEMs, I've started to like them a lot more. Uh, so especially since I got the ADV M51Ds in for review, those told me, okay, not all IEMs are made equal, and not all IEMs are uncomfortable, and not all IEMs can only be used portable. Let's see. What else we got? ZMF. Yes, ZMF. The ZMF pilot pad on top of that works well. Yes, I actually have my pilot pad on my Mayflower, because on the Mayflower I don't have a strap, and so it just has the stock headband from Fostex. Let's see what else we got here. Let's put out a video on those. On which ones did you put a video on? I'm sorry. I got lost there. Let's see what else we got. Best wishes to dog or tends to get ear infections. Yeah, it's just some dogs have that. He also has arthritis in his knees, and so if he jumps down off of furniture and stuff, he limps around if he lands in the wrong way. Kef Ellis 50s. I have heard that those are really nice. Now I've actually watched some reviews on them and have considered them. 2.1 near fields. Yeah. Let's see. Put the pile pad on the belt. Oh, put it on the. Does it fit? I mean, that thing is. It's thick. I don't. I'll try it. I'll try it later. Let's see. Yeah, you used cheapo IEMs in school, but after getting a good pair of headphones, it makes me never want to go back. I totally understand. I totally do. Have I ever heard the Hi-Fi Ananda? I have, but not enough to really give a full-on review of them. I've just heard them at meets and stuff. So I have the Edition XX though. It fits. Okay, well, you know what? Let's try it right now. Let's see. Proof. All right, so they're off of my Mayflowers. So what you're saying is put it here, not here, on this part. All right. Okay. Wow, that is a snug fit. You sure this is going to be comfy? Oh, I don't know. Okay. That seems like it's really thick. It's awkward. It's better. Okay. All right. It is it is better than the belt that it sits on. I will say that. Cat. What? My cat is weird. All right, so I will look into that more, try that more, but it does fit. So all right, there you go. It fit on the mass drop belt. Is the mass drop belt also really thick and stiff? I mean, that ZMF one it's thick. Let me see if I can get it on camera for you guys so you can see. That is how thick it is. And that's how stiff it is. And then that's how fat it is. compared to Cascadia. Well, I guess we'll find out. Tell us how to help you get bigger. Spread the word, share videos, and just send me really, really cool stuff to review. Nods to the comfort. Yes, it is. Yes. Okay. Master Drop belt is trash too. Okay. Is it possible to ship me something and then you get it back? Well, yes, you do. You will get it back. I tend to try to. Farsal has loaned me a lot of gear, and so Farsal, the wizard, and I have traded. Everything that I have sent him has returned, and vice versa, and everything works when it comes back. So I'm very careful with what you send. A couple other subscribers have sent me some stuff. For example, Omega he sent me the Sonys that I reviewed, and also he sent the little FX Audio DAC X6. So he has loaned me some stuff. The Austin also has sent me some stuff in the past to review. I actually purchased the iSign 10s off of Austin after he sent them to me for review. I was like, hey, I'll keep these. Are you willing to sell them? So yeah, people have sent some stuff in. If you send stuff, also some manufacturers have sent me stuff. So hit me up on Discord, send me and I am on Discord. I will get you my information, or you can send me an email based off the links down below, and we'll discuss what you want to send. Time frame wise, I usually want anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks to do a review. And the reason being is just for time to acclimate myself to the headphone, to the gear, to test it out on all the stuff that I have, and do some comparisons, prepare thoughts on a video for a video review. So usually about 2 to 4 weeks, and I'll get it back to you. If you want me to keep it for longer, I'll be glad to. I can ship it. Currently, right now, trying to stay with people within the U.S. Just to keep shipping prices down. It's can be a little pricey to ship international. For example, I had a gentleman who was in, I think it was Israel, and wanted to exchange gear, and when I looked up the price to ship it, it was like $115 or so just for me to get it to him. And then, I didn't want him to have to pay that money to get back, and, that type of thing. So try to keep it in the U.S. If possible. But yes, I take very good care of everything, pristine, and I treat it like it's my own. So if I was going to put something out in the driveway and drive over with my car, then I would do it to your stuff also. But I haven't driven over any headphones with my car, as much as some of them I have wanted to, like those Bass Audio G12s. So yeah, just hit me up, send me a message, and we'll discuss it. And if you want to send something, if you don't know whether or not I reviewed it, just ask. Let's see. Deerskin from Mod House is the best I've tried. Actually, on the Argon, he put the Alcantara one on for me, and I really enjoyed that. It was really soft, supple, and it was very, very nice. But I've heard really good things about the Deerskin also, and so I want to try that. I want to buy one and just put it on. And I think I might try it on the Mayflower, just because I've heard really good things about that. Do you have a job in audio? Well, yes and no. So my normal day job, or actually third shift job, is in customer relations. I am a business analyst, customer service support type of gentleman, but for a large company. But I attend church on Sundays and Wednesdays, and I do the audio at the church or help out with it. I split the duties with another gentleman, and so kind of have a job. I run the mixer board and all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. So I guess kind of have a job in audio. Excuse me. What is my favorite headphone? Just pick one. My current one, I would say, is Mr. Speaker's Ether C, and then Sennheiser HD 600. How do you get merch like the swaggy shirt? So this is actually a Christmas gift from my wife, and she has a friend that does screen prints, and she designed it and gave it to me. I was like, that's really cool. So I'm not exactly sure how we would approach that. I'll have to work with her and her friend and see if we can get some things going on. I will research that, because if you guys are interested in getting some really cool shirts or other things, we could probably even do like coffee cups or something. Hey, I will definitely look at it if there's interest. Let's see. There's going to be a quarantine in Latvia, even though there isn't a COVID-19 outbreak here. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Stay safe. Just be proactive and preventative. Wash your hands. Don't, keep your distance between people. And if you don't have to be in a big crowd, don't go in a big crowd. That's just my advice there. Let's see. Has a plan to make an Alcantara for an Odyssey to replace the suspension. Now that's nice. And that was one thing with Odysseys, with the weight of them and that head strap, it doesn't like disperse the weight very well. So if you could have something that's a little softer and not as stiff like the Odysseys are, that might help disperse that weight. That's actually a really good idea. Let's see. I just ordered the Blonde 3 and the ESS Bluetooth amp and the earpieces you suggested. Well, that's good. Healthy Hearing for Life. That's actually an excellent name for that. Do you enjoy them? Is that a good mix to your ears? And does it, how do you like that? Let's see. Have you reviewed the Ananda? No, I haven't. I've reviewed them. I've just heard them randomly. I really need to get one in for a review. I would love to compare it to my Edition XX. How did you get into the hi-fi reviewing game? Well, it's actually kind of a funny story. So headphones were kind of my thing for quite a while. I had all the cheapies, anything that was sub $50 or came free with my phones. And I thought I was pretty decent. Well, my brother-in-law bought Sennheiser HD 700s, let me listen to them. And then he bought Grotto SR325s and let me listen to those. And even though I didn't care for the exact sound of those headphones, it told me, he goes, it said, you can do better than what you have. And so I started to research, and I still didn't want to pay a whole lot of money. And so I got the Superlux HD 681 Evos, and that was kind of my jump start. And then as I started to really research and buy headphones for myself, I started watching reviews online, started reading them, and didn't always agree, didn't always like some of the approaches. It was just kind of like, I wonder if I can do it. I could probably do it half as bad as some of these people. And I just, one day, it just said, start it. And so I looked up on YouTube how to start a YouTube channel, how to do various things, and I just went for it. I made my introduction video, which is so corny if you watch it now and terrible. And probably should take that video down. Anyways, um, and that was just the start of it. I just started reviewing what I had in house, and voila, here we are. Let's see. He can make them. So Mod House will make things on. If you ask him, he'll make special orders. I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. Did I try Campfire Audio Andromedas? I heard them once. A friend of mine at another Head-Fi meet had some, and I didn't mind the sound of them. I didn't like the build of them. I found them uncomfortable. They felt like a better build quality of KZ, but they were clunky, and I don't know. They just didn't fit my ears properly. But they sounded good. I've heard that the Solaris is actually really good too. I just haven't had the opportunity to hear any of their gear. And it's kind of like with Noble. I had a bad taste with the Noble X Universal. I would really like to try some of their other stuff because the few moments that I've heard of them, heard their stuff, excuse me, is really good. It's just, $1,000, $1,200. I mean, it's just crazy, the pricing. Let's see here. Mr. Olenod, I will get back with you regarding your thing on Discord. It's a little hard to try to type and do a live stream. So do greatly appreciate the offer. I will definitely come back to you on that. As far as, let's see, what else we got? Noble K10 is really good. That's the one that I actually heard was the K10 and I truly enjoyed it. The Final Audio B3s. Okay. I haven't heard any Final Audio stuff outside of audio meets also. And I haven't heard any of their in-ear stuff. I have only heard over-ears from Final Audio. And those are different. Very, a very unique house sound on the Final Audio stuff as far as their over-ears. Okay, so we have another IEM, and this is one that really flies under the radar. Comes in this teeny tiny little box, and if you can see it on camera, maybe. Anybody know what that emblem is? Anybody know what that little emblem is? Focal. There you go. And so these are the Focal spears, and they are interesting. I didn't even know Focal made IEMs, and so I saw these on Amazon. I was like, I'll try them out. Now they have a very similar build to the Samsungs, but it's better in some regards. As far as the microphone's a little chunkier, it just feels like a better cable. Has this really odd split, which has a button on it, which doesn't work for me because it's iOS only. Rubberized cable. Took a little while to straighten out because it was wound really tight in the box. But these things, if you're looking for just a little cheap beater that no one will really know anything about, I would recommend these. Nice bass, decent treble. It can be a little bit on the sibilant side on some songs, something like by Cher, like the Believe by Cher can sound a little on these, but it's not awful. I can actually listen to it. I'm not pulling them out of my head. A little V-shaped. The mids are slightly back, but it's not annoying. I'm not really a V-shaped fan, and these don't offend me in that way. So if you're looking for a $75 to $80 in ear and you want to get away from the chi-fi stuff, give them a shot. Thank you, Christian. Do appreciate that. Do they spear your ear gems? No, they not really. They're pretty much inoffensive. As I said, they do have a few moments with certain songs that tend to be a little bit aggressive, anyways. Like "Believe" by Cher. I'm trying to think of Ace of Base, "The Sign." That song can be a little aggressive in the treble. Things like that. Some old school songs. And also, if it's not mastered really well, these will let you know it in the ears. Now, foam tips might change that a little bit. I haven't tried foams on these. I just got these in about a week ago, but they impressed me a little bit. And so if you're kind of looking for more of a mainstream, bigger name other than some chi-fi stuff, that might be something. And then I think they're in they're down here. My little IEM box. These are the Baradynamic Soul Birds, and they're also about the same price as the Focal, and they have a very interesting way of producing sound for an in-ear. It's very musical, bassy. It's interesting. But if you want to try something a little different, those aren't too shabby. A review that will be coming up will be these. And purple. We got any purple lovers in chat? These are the Theo FH1S. And yeah, they've impressed me also. All right, let's get back and see here. Focal Dule Spiria, congrats. Much love from Cali, California. Well, I have actually never been to California. It's one of my states that I want to travel to and visit. Do I use a portable amp on the go, or do you plug in right to your phone? Well, I can't plug into my phone anymore because it's USB-C only. I usually use an amp dongle. So the one that I've really been digging lately is the X Duo Link. And this one is actually quite unique. And that's because it has volume control on the remote itself and a play pause button. Now the play pause button only works when your screen is off, but it does work nice. And the volume control is fantastic. You don't have to mess around with it. Farsal has one of these, and he had an issue with if it bends a little bit, he's getting a short right here. So it sounds like it's not the best build quality for if you're gonna bend the cable around. But if you have it just kind of straight up or laying on a desk, like if you're sitting working and you're using your IEM and you're using this and it's just laying flat, it seems to work fine for him. So that might be something to keep in mind. But it was about, I think this is $40, maybe a little less. And it's a really nice quality sound. Has a saber DAC in it and does great. Another one that I use a lot is available through ADV or Advanced Sound, and that's the Access Port Lite. This one is a little different in that I'm not sure what the DAC chip is in it, but it warms up the sound. Almost sounds like a Burr Brown type of sound. It has a little bit warmer tint to it, but that one works really well, and that's about, I think, $20. And then one that is very easy to come across on Amazon. This is the Razer USB-C DAC dongle. This one is about $15 to $20. And it works really well. It actually powers things really well. The only thing on it is every now and then it, with more trebly type of music, it can get a little shouty. And then I have this unique thing. And this is from Venture Electronics and VE, the same people that make VE Monk. USB-C has a, I'm not sure exactly what chip is in it, but it's XLR. So if you have headphones that have a 4-pin, you can just plug it right in and use it on your phone. And it actually works really well. I can run my Edition XXs off of it, and Ether Cs, and that's about it. If you go anything that's really powered demanding, T50s, forget it. You're not going to get anything out of it, but it does work. So like, if you don't want to change your cables around and you feel like rocking your Edition XX or something like that on there you go. Good to go. So do I use portable amps? Also, the only portable amp that I have, and I do use them, but mostly with DAPs. And the one that I have is the FIO A5. And this thing has plenty of power, and I truly love it. All right, let's see. Yeah, your LG 40 V40 has headphones. It'll be a sad day if, excuse me, it'll be a sad day if LG ever decides to drop the headphone jack. And if they have, I'm sorry, I don't know that. Did I sell my AudioQuest Nighthawks? Actually, I had to return them. They were on loan from headphones.com. And so I didn't actually get to keep those. Sentrance products, I hear really good things about. I haven't had a chance to try them yet, though. What's good over-ear headphone? $150 or less with good bass and also decent vocals. $150 or less? Well, you want open or closed? They're the least of a dying breed. I'm sorry. Did I miss something? Oh, the LGs. Sony deals well with new mobile phones. I've heard that. A friend of mine had a Sony phone, about a 2-year-old model, and it actually was really good sounding, but it was like a 10-minute listen. 58X Jubilees would be a good choice for that in $150 range. You could also, if you want to do planar, you could do 4XX. But they have a little bit of trouble issues sometimes, especially if they're not powered properly. Also, if you, well, yeah, I would stick with Sennheiser or the Hyphen 4XX. Let's see. The very newer ones. I'm sorry, Mark. Oh, the brand new phones do a lot better. Ever tried DT 1990? I heard them once, and Bear Dynamic is not really my preferred sound. Very few Bears that I have enjoyed, and the 1990s to me just were a little too much detail. 280 Pros, I have not heard those. Anybody in chat would be able to answer that. See if that would work for him. Oh, the V60 is going to have a headphone jack. That's awesome. And yeah, the built-in DACs are just crazy good. I had a V30, V20, and a V10. Absolutely loved all three of those. And then I was stupid and wanted to get rid of basically anything but go stock Android or as close to stock Android as possible. And I went with OnePlus 7T, and yeah, and so went down that route, and then I decided to go with Samsung, mainly not because of the musical aspect of it, but because of the productivity that I can get out of my Note for my channel and all that. Um, I do not use any 600 ohm headphones regularly. The highest ohms that I have right now are 300 ohm, which are my Sennheiser 600s. Final audio A8000s. I would love to hear. Okay, so what's my experience with amps? My first amps were the more portables, FIO Q1 and something else. I can't remember exactly what. And then when I started to get into desktops, a desktop setup, I went with my first DAC amp setup was a topping D30 and a topping A30 amplifier. And that was the mind-blowing moment for me. And so I was just amazed that could get so much sound out of it, have so much more power, and just open up the headphones and all that. And then as I went from that, I moved on to an NFB or Audio GD NFB 12.1. I think it was 12, something like that. And that was another eye-opening experience. Just loved it. It was integrated, had a nice DAC in it and all that. And then that one started to get problems. The USB input at that time started to short out, cause problems. And the RCAs started to become loose. And I'm not really a fixer-upper. And so I sold it as is. And then I moved on. I got my tube amp, my APPJ PA1502A. I've had that for pretty much from the beginning, and just kind of climbed from there. Had some other stuff in between. Gishelli reached out to me and said, "Hey, how would you like to review some gear with us?" And so I got the original from them. I purchased that and have worked my way up through purchasing the others. One was gifted to me by a friend, but yeah, that's basically my experiences. When I finally got to a point where I said, if I'm going to be a reviewer and review all kinds of gear and be consistent in what I review, that's when I started to research, and that's when I decided on the monoprice mono THX AAA 788. And I really, when I heard it, I knew it just has what you're looking for as a reviewer. It has that smoothness, that clarity, all the details, and it just sung with me. And then I added in the LCX and the CTH just because I wanted a little bit different of a flavor, so you can test different things. That's pretty much how I got with my amplifiers. Mica Origin, thinking of upgrading to the 788. I haven't used Mica Origin, but I've heard that is very, it's like the Swiss Army knife of little amps. Works really good. I guess it's really clean. It can do all kinds of things, preamps and all that. So the 788 would definitely be a step up for you. And I can't say enough about the difference in sound. It just has a smoothness to it. It just, it's hard to explain. It really is without hearing it. Once you hear THX, you'll know. There's just a difference. D30 and A30. How long have you been into headphones? Well, it's mostly been about a 4-year journey, from when I really started to explore higher stuff. Up until that point, it was, um, what's that one brand? Symphonized with the Wraith 2.0s. It was, uh, JLab, uh, Me Audio, the low end Me Audio. Uh, I'm trying to think of the one. Bob Marley, House of Marley. There we go, and just stuff like that. And then as I got into it, I listened to my brother-in-law's HD 700s and his grottos, and I was like, "There's something there," and that's how it got. So it's about 4 years from that moment on, and then it's been about 18 months, maybe a little less. I think it was August of last year that I started um, this channel. You want a transparent, uncolored DAC amp? Since I produce music, I don't want to spend 2,000 on an RMA. Don't blame me there. If you don't need a ton of power, the 788 would be a very good option. If you need a little bit more of power, I would recommend going maybe the 789 and getting a separate DAC. And yeah, well, that's true. Some of the RMEs are in the $1,000 range. Even if you go used, you can get them a little cheaper. I think I saw one for like about $899 the other day on eBay. So depending on which model you want of the RMEs, you can get them a little bit cheaper. True. Different locations do have different prices, unfortunately. And that's a hard thing to sometimes realize. Let's see here. Somebody sent me a message I'm not reading very well on Discord. Oh, well, I'm watching you guys. You guys are more important. All right, let's see what we got here. Do you think better measuring equipment typically sounds better, or is there more to it, like THX and newer designs? And here's the thing. Measurements are important. Okay. I mean, measurements say a lot regarding what gear can do. Just like a headphone, frequency graphs are important. Now, I'm going to get myself in trouble with this. I'm sure there's going to be some people that don't agree, but I understand that. Measurements aren't everything. There are some headphones and some amplifiers and some DACs that I've heard in which the measurements say one thing and what you hear sounds totally different. So implementation of it also is important. So be careful going into saying, I want the best measurement of this period, and then spending a fortune on it because you get sold on something having a frequency response of 1 hertz to 150,000 kilohertz. Okay. And it has the most perfect thing. Your ears can't hear all of that. So measurements are important. Measurements tell part of the story. They don't tell everything. And as I always say, the best measurement is your own ears. How many versions of the RME? I'm not sure on that. I know of at least 2. Just got my first TWS in the Hypertext. Do you think you'd cover some of the better Bluetooth devices? Yes, I do. I don't know if I would go with the wired Bluetooth stuff. I've had some of those in the past. Didn't really care for them. I don't really see a reason for it. But the true wireless stuff intrigues me. And so if you're going to go hands-free, I don't want something that I'm going to get my hand caught in. And so by having a wire with Bluetooth, so the true wireless stuff where there's no wires at all, Yeah, I'm totally interested in reviewing those. One of them that really intrigues me is Advanced Sound ADV. They have an M5 version of the True Wireless. And since I absolutely love the M5 1D, I want to know how it would sound wirelessly. That would be really cool. Um, Also, Hi-Fi has a Bluetooth version of True Wireless that I'm really interested in. And I saw another one that Full Cal, maybe? I can't remember, but one of those really interests me. I'd be really curious to see how some of those are more implemented. I know RHA has one, but theirs is ridiculously priced because it's like a CL1 wireless, so it's like $1,000. I'm not sure if I'd pay $1,000 for a Bluetooth device. I'm not sure if I'd go that route. Okay, so Martin says there's two versions of the RME. The new one has more buttons on the remote and a new filter in the menu. As if the old one didn't have enough filters. It has everything that you would want under the sun. The RMEs do. Now the 788, even though it's a little bit of a older back chip, I do believe. I think they're different. But the 788 also has EQ settings and filters and all kinds of other things that you can mess with. I don't do that. I'm pretty much a just set and go type of person. Don't really use EQ. I'm kind of a purist in that way. But if you want to use EQ, this one has all kinds of settings on it that you can play around with. The only thing on this one is it does not have balanced outs. It's only balanced in. So you can use the balanced in for the amp part of it, but you can't do the DAC out as balanced, which is kind of a bummer. Only RCA out. But there is supposedly some sort of mod that you can do that tweaks that. I haven't tried it, but I've seen some people on HeadFi try it and do that. Let's see. The Tevi is like a budget send. Oh, your little Bluetooth. Supposedly bass is there dependent on the tips, but is a more mid-centric set. I would actually like that. I find that some of the cheaper end TWS stuff that I've tried or Bluetooth tend to be really tinny and very, very treble forward or V-shaped, and you lose a lot of the vocals and a lot of the mids. So if theirs is more mid-forward, that fits into my sound signature that I would like. So you've started EQing. Is it easy on the RME? The 788 is a little clunky. You have to go through the menu a little bit. Yeah, I'm more like Omega. I'm just prefer however they set it up as. The Galaxy Buds Plus are nice. We use them for the gym. Yeah, I mean that would be the purpose I would use them for. I wouldn't use them to do critical listening and do reviews. You know, like okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to review my DAC and amp setup. I really wouldn't use them in that setting, but to do stuff around the house, especially things where you don't want a cable or you don't want to have to tuck your cable in underneath your shirt and stuff like that, those wireless ones come in super handy. I tried the Apple ones, did not care for them because I didn't like the stuff hanging down on my ear. I think I prefer just regular straight in the ear. Are the Galaxy ones the ones that have where you can do the talk through part and you don't have to remove them out, you can actually hear the people around you? Okay, I actually agree with you on that. When I went to Oxpona last year, I was blown away by some of the sound systems that they had, the speakers and the quality. But when you have a wife who says you can't have speakers, You have to have a sound bar. Um, I can't prove it to her, and I need suggestions from chat as to how to get my wife interested in going to headphone shows with me. She will make the trip with me. So, like, she'll drive to Chicago with me. She'll stay in a hotel room. She'll do this, but then she wants to stay in bed and watch Netflix. She doesn't want to walk around with me and try things on. She'll try stuff here at home, but she won't go to a show to do it. So I need some advice as to how to do that. Um, but yeah, I totally agree. If you have a properly implemented speaker system with room acoustics set up proper, it will blow away headphones all day long. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so learning to do the EQ was a little cumbersome, and you had to learn the process, but after a while you get used to how to do it. It's kind of like the same with the THX, but the 788. real real estate is really expensive, and it's a craziness even here in the United States, how you live in a little town like I do, and $100,000 will get you a fairly decent house, and then you move to somewhere just south of us, go down to one of the bigger cities, and $100,000 is getting you a little something that's as big as my shed in the backyard. So yeah, I mean, real estate is crazy pricing. But if you're a fixer upper, um, that's the way to do it. If you actually have the money to be able to repair, and you have the abilities to do it. You have a wife, she doesn't give a care. Uh, Can Jam, she was like only in it for the shopping. As long as she's shopping for headphones or speakers for you, that'd be all right. Let's see. Panera announced $8.99 per month with coffee. How do you like that idea? $8.90. So you pay like on a card, and you get like you show them your card and you just get your coffee. That's actually not a bad idea. Um, I I don't mind Panera coffee. Every time I've tried it, it's been okay, and they usually have like 4 or 5 different selections out there. So yeah, that might be actually a halfway decent idea. It's definitely a lot cheaper than Starbucks. Let's see. Ambient sound feature on the buds is great. Main reason for us over the rest, and the iOS app support from my wife Apple iPhone. Okay, so that's really cool. My my brother-in-law has the Sony Bluetooth over ears, and it has that function where if somebody's talking and you're like you want to ignore him, you can totally ignore him with noise canceling. And then if he wants to actually interact in the conversation, you can do whatever motion, and you can carry on your conversation or take them off. So that's really cool. Um, oh, you're in Munich. Cool. That's another place I want to travel to. I have always wanted to visit Europe and go to Germany, go to Munich, Berlin, Frankfurt, and I would love to go to a soccer match, football game over there, and just absolutely would love it. And even though I am an Aston Villa fan, I would still go to a German game just because. And the N5 1266 TCs definitely would be endgame. They have a very interesting how they sit on your head. Take a little bit, but not as weird as the raw SR1s. I'm not sure if the Abyss or the Rawls would be my end game. I would probably lean towards the Rawls just because there was something totally unique about that sound. It felt like I had. I mean, you look like Batman or something, but uh, the way that it portrayed the sound in that was probably the closest I've ever been to speakers with a headphone. And you can adjust them, get them to get into like room acoustics and stuff. Eh, That would probably be more where I would go. Um, because the Abyss are just, you have to have the balancing act on your head. And I'd be afraid. I'm a fidgeter, and so I'd be afraid that I would fling my $6,000 headphones onto the floor uh, and break them. So with the Rawls, at least it's strapped to your head a little bit. Kind of feel a little more secure. I don't know if that makes sense. Oktoberfest. I'll talk to the what. You know what? That actually wouldn't really work for her though. Being a school teacher. But I'll see what I can do. Hold on. Gotta figure this out. I'm not a drinker though. So I'd have to do the coffee thing. Might be a little out of place during that time drinking coffee. Uh, the AirPods actually really did surprise me in their quality of sound for what you're getting. I was really surprised at that. It wasn't just like a muddy mess that I thought it would be. They were actually fairly pleasant and detailed. Um, so I didn't mind that. Do apologize. My cold is still kind of affecting me, so that's the random coughs and the sneezes and the Kleenex. 2 weeks ago, I was not feeling good at all. I was laryngitis, sicker than sick, and I was like, oh man, I got the virus. And I actually called my wife. She was at work, and I could barely talk. I had her set up a doctor visit, and I went, and they checked me out. They checked me for strep. They checked me for the virus. They checked me for some other stuff, and they're like, no, you just got a common cold, some sort of virus. Just go home and take some time off of work and take these meds, and you'll be good. And so I'm on the road to recovery. Every now and then the cough comes up, but for the most part, I'm on the road to recovery. So, AirPod Pros, are those better than the regular AirPods? I haven't really tried the Pros. I only tried the original ones. Diets are good. I always say I'm going to get on one, and maybe one of these days. Farsal keeps trying to talk me into joining him on his endeavors. One of these days, I will get there. Let me scroll over here to Discord, see if anything's going on. Is the LCD one any good? I haven't heard the LCD one in for a review. I've only heard it at audio meets. I thought it was pretty decent, especially for a budget Odyssey. I mean, it's not bad. I wouldn't say it's their best option available, and I definitely wouldn't say it's the best option available for their price. But you could definitely do a lot worse. than that. But I don't really have an opinion as I haven't reviewed them. See what else they're talking about over here on Discord. Um, Somebody showing off a bunch of FUBAR stuff. And talking about the ethers. All right, let's see what we got back over here. IFI XDSD is incredible device. I love that thing when I had it for a review. It just does everything you need for a small device. Now it's pricey, but it works excellent. I totally impressed with that thing. I need to get one. Christmas gift. Let's see what else we got here. Focal Elysia. Yeah, I would love to get an Elysia in for review. Even a Stellia, even a Elysia, I would prefer more. Oh, they're making a closed version of LCD1? Oh, didn't know that. That might actually cure a few of the little problems that the LCD1 Open has. But hopefully it doesn't do like what the XC does and give it that cavernous kind of resonant sound. If they can get rid of that issue, the closed version of LCD1 would actually be really worth it. Oh man, Elysia and Stellia both are in Europe right now. Come on, you guys just need to come visit. Just come here. Come to the Midwest of the United States, right smack dab in the middle. I mean, I'm literally pretty much right in the middle of the United States, so easy to get to. And there's nothing around. I'm 70 miles from the nearest cities, so come on. So all the S20 from Samsung's are coming with the Bud Plus for $0 if you pre-order. Now that's nice. That's actually a good deal. So a whole lot better than getting these things that came with my Note. So if I upgrade and I get the new Note that'll be coming at the end of the year, I wonder if those will have the Bud Plus. Something to look into. You hear S20 from works and no freebies. Well, that's a bummer. I have a friend who gets a new Note every year from work, and I'm like so jealous. I'm like, how are you getting top of the line Samsung Note phone for free from work, and yet I have to buy mine? Come on. Maybe I just need a different job. Yeah, I have one of the greatest perks though. I get to work from home every day, so I don't have to drive to my office. I just have to walk 5 feet from my bedroom to my office. So I guess not getting a free phone is okay. You've had all of the Notes. Wow. Did you even have the flamer? It didn't catch on fire on you, did it? I had back in the day, a Note 4. And then I went to LG and went through them for quite a bit, OnePlus, and then I'm back to the Note. And immediately, as soon as I got my Note and hooked it up, and got it all set up, that feeling of I got my phone back was there, and I didn't realize how much I actually missed it until I used it again. So Neutral Ears here on Discord says that he has become allergic to bass and treble since he uses his HD 600s. That's interesting. I wouldn't say since I use the 600s that I am. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm allergic to bass and treble. I'm still a treble head. I still love good treble, and I like bass, but I'm not a bass head. Uh, let's see what else are they talking about over here. Um, no dark stuff, no Odyssey. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Not all Odyssey are dark. People just assume that because they hear certain ones. And yes, they do have a house sound, but not every single one of them has that same signature darker sound. So, anyways. All right. Well, we have been going for an hour and a half, and we have 13 people currently on the stream. Do greatly appreciate it. Let's do another quick shilling moment. So, have to be a salesperson every now and then, and so bear with me for a few moments. So, if you truly enjoy this stream and you have enjoyed it a lot and like it, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already. If you want to and support the channel in any way, check out the links down below for Discord, Patreon, PayPal, and there's a couple of affiliate links. If you're interested in any of my playlists that I have on Tidal, there's links down below to that also. And if you really want to get some attention today and you just truly love it and you want a shout out from me, you can use the super chat function and show some love to the channel also. So do greatly appreciate every one of you that have come so far. All right, shilling done. So we're done. And any other questions for me that haven't answered or anything of the sort? Oh, also one other thing. This is not a shill. This is just helpful advice. If you want to send in gear for review, or if you want to just gift it to me, send me a private message, a PM on Discord, or check out the email link down below and send it to me, and just ask about it accordingly, and we'll set something up. As I said earlier in the stream, I usually strive for about 2 to 4 week period for reviews on loan gear, and I treat it as my own. I will not put it out on the driveway and run over it with the car, even if I don't like it. I just wouldn't do that. And if it breaks while it's in my possession, I will replace it. So with that being said, $6,000 pieces of gear are a little scary. I really don't want to have to replace those. So, yeah. One thing I did take a trip up to Michigan. I went to a HeadFi meet up in Michigan, and I actually took my THX with me. And on the trip up there, or something happened somewhere. I'm not sure if it happened at the building that we were holding our thing for, but thank you very much, Mr. Evan. Do greatly appreciate that. I'm going to keep it up. Something happened to my THX. So when I plugged it in, it actually shorted out. And I wasn't sure if it was a power source issue or they had a surge or anything like that. Nobody else had any issues. And it didn't affect any headphones or anything like that. It just affected my THX. And so I'm a little bit leery about sending out electronics for review, so I totally understand if you feel the same way. Thankfully, it was still under warranty, and I was able to get a replacement. But yeah, it can be scary taking gear somewhere or loaning it out, and learn from me. Uh, yeah, haven't had any issues with any of the other stuff, especially the stuff that IFI has sent me. It all has worked fantastically, but it is scary when you send gear. Totally understand that. All right, so um, I don't know about you guys. Have you had issues with quality control? The only company besides my monoprice THX AAA 788 that broke that I've had an issue with, and I know this is going to shock everybody in chat. I know it, but Hi-Fi Man. So one of my first headphones I had was a Hi-Fi Man HE350, and that thing was so fragile. And it was really funny. I remember I posted it on Reddit. I said, "Look at the headphone I got!" And I was like all excited because of how it sounded, and all the comments. I mean, it wasn't, "Hey, they sound good. Hey, cool. I'm glad you like them." I mean, no, none of that. I got about 30 responses. Has it broken yet? Has it broken yet? Has it broken yet? And I kept responding, "No, it's great. It's great. It's great." Literally, like 2 weeks after the fact, it snapped on the yoke. Right. So I got a replacement pair. Posted it. Hey, I got a replacement. Hey, it's good. It's good. Good. Almost 2 weeks to the day, snapped right same spot. So I was like, okay, Hi-Fi Man's got, you know, what they say might be true, but this is cheap. This is like $100 headphones. Surely they're better stuff. And I haven't had an issue with my 4XX. I didn't have any issues with some other Hi-Fi Man stuff, but I got my 560, and I'm on my third pair of my 560. Now they're the version 3s, they're not the version 1, the original with the wood. But every single one of them, the left driver has popped and then stopped playing. It's weird. It's always the left. So I'm on my third pair of those. And then my Hi-Fi Man Edition XX was really weird. So where let me get them. So on the Edition XX, right here. So I was just playing with them. I took them off, and right here it cracked. It was like really odd. They didn't drop. They didn't, nothing happened. I just looked at them and I was like, why is there a little crack right there? And so I contacted Mass Drop and they replaced them, but it was really weird. So every single issue that I've had with headphones ever has always been with Hi-Fi Man. Anybody else ever have any issues other than with Hi-Fi Man? Now they've always honored their warranty, which is awesome, but it was really strange and bizarre. An LCD 3 die on your head in a store. Oh wow. Were you able to prove that you didn't do anything wrong? I mean, it's kind of a pricey thing for them to go, you broke it, you buy it. I mean, that'd be expensive. Sundaras, I've heard, are actually fairly durable. I haven't really heard too many problems with the quality on Sundara. Personally, I don't care for the sound of the Sundara, but I haven't heard the revised version. Apparently, they did a revise and they tuned it a little bit different. So I'm not sure if that fixed the problem for me. But I actually prefer the sound of the 560 versus the Sundara that I've heard. But I haven't had a Sundara in house for long period. Again, it's only based off of what I've heard at Hi-Fi meets. But to me, they just sounded a little too aggressive and didn't sound natural. They didn't seem surprised at all. Well, that's good. At least he didn't like have to, you broke it, you buy it type of deal. Yeah, I might say something about AutoZay, but I haven't really heard too many issues about AutoZay having quality problems. Too many issues, unlike some other manufacturer, Hi-Fi. Full cal. I mean, those things are built like tanks, so I wouldn't think that those things could ever break. I haven't really heard any issues regarding a full cal. And then Mr. Speakers, for me, Dan Clark, they seem to be very durable, and they have the best headband system, in my opinion, with the nitinol. I mean, you can just twist and it just flows. Crazy good. Also, they had driver issues. Interesting. Did not know that. Learn something new every day. I have heard their customer service is top notch. I have had very good experience with Monoprice's customer service also, and then Hi-Fi Man was fantastic. Massdrop was a little different. I've always been able to get replacements from them, but it's kind of like a clunky process and a little sometimes hard to prove. And they're kind of sticklers for. Oh, I did forget. I did have an amplifier with issues. So I bought my original Liquid Carbon X used off of eBay, and it was claimed to be open box, never used. And when I first got it, it sounded great. After about a week, the gain switch started sticking, and it was always stuck in low mode, low gain. I could never get it in high gain. If you reset the board or turned it off, turn it back on, it would kick into high gain, and then it just completely shorted out, had issues. And when I reached out to Massdrop, they were like, "Oh, you didn't buy it from us. You're not the original. Uh, we won't honor it, but you need to, I'm like, and I understand that, but it's like frustrating. So I had to find a actual Cavelli warranty repair. They worked on it twice and still had the same issue, and so finally I just sold it as is for parts, and I bought a brand new one. Works great, no problems whatsoever. So to apologize about that, I actually forgot all about that until I looked at it. What else are they talking about over here? Stacks, 007s, L700, L300, 900s. I've only heard stacks randomly at headphone meets. Always impressed me though. They just have a way of being like effortless in what they did. Uh, I heard that they're a little Energizer picky, so not 100% sure. Mailman is coming down the street, and the dogs absolutely hate the mailman. And I know he has to drop something on the porch, so about 3 minutes, be prepared. They're gonna go crazy, so I'll have to get up, sign for our package. So just bear with me. Um, all right, what else are they talking about over here? Okay, so stacks. So I always found that with them, they were a little bit Energizer dependent. I heard that. I'm not 100% sure. And I know that some people have recommended the COS 95Xs, but the problem being with that is the adapter and the connector doesn't work with other Energizers. And I've heard COS Energizers, kind of suspect. And I would love to try the IFI ESL amp with some electrostats, but the problem is I couldn't try the cost on there without getting an adapter, and that adapter is like ridiculously priced, like $150 just for a little connector. Why can't you all just use the same connector? But getting back to stacks, I would love to test them, especially on a quality amplifier. But right now I don't have any Energizer amps. I almost got the Hi-Fi Jade, but then I saw a lot of reviews and they were very up and down. So I'm still kind of debating whether or not I should try that. Has anybody tried the Hi-Fi Jade? I'm just curious. Or any stacks in chat? Where is it, mailman? Oh, he's next door. Be right back. All right, so I'm back. So we have one more thing to unbox. Where's my knife? Here we go. And this one, I want to thank Adam. So here we go. Let's see if Adam does as good of a job of packaging as Omega. It's got a lot of tape on it, that's for sure. So far, so good on the packaging. Any guesses? Any guesses? That's it. Any guesses? All right. THX or SML. There you go. All right, so this is going to be the 789. And this is going to be the replacement for when I have to return the Pro ICANN. I just got too spoiled by all that power, and I had to get something a little bit more, and I needed something clean, clear, and so yeah. So this was bought used, but barely used. There it is. Man, they really seal their stuff in. I must say, Massdrop does a good job in packaging. They give you nice foam cutouts and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they protect the stuff pretty good. Whatsoever. Power brick. Typical, looks like the same one on the LCX and CPA. Probably will replace it. Not sure though. Let's see. All right. So there it is. Lighting is really bad in here right now. Where'd my sunshine go? There we go. 789. No fingerprints whatsoever. Good job, Adam. And it is exactly the same size, it looks like, as the LCX. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit and warm up. It's a little chilly. Does the monoprice amp deck not have as much power as the Mastrop THX? No, it does not. The THX 788 has, I think it's 3.7 watts balanced. Don't quote me on that. And of course, the 789 is 6 watts, I believe, something like that. The 788 could be a little bit lower, actually. Maybe it's the LCX that has 3.7. Either way, it's about double from the 789. Yeah, definitely got it before the drop, ugly drop logo. That thing was hideous. I do not like the new look that they went with that. I prefer the more clean look, and it matches my LCX and CTH, which was one reason. And plus, the price was too good to turn up. But the nice thing is, 789 prices are going down. That's shining right in my eyes. There we go. Now that some of the other THX amps are coming out, so you can get it for a little bit cheaper than before. There's not near as much price gouging. I remember when eBay, you were $1,000, $1,200 for a 789. Not anymore. The measurements are fairly close, if I remember. It's been a while since I looked into it also, versus the 788 and the 789. After you do a firmware update, make sure that on the 788 you do flash the new firmware. Currently, right now here, I can actually tell you. So the firmware version that I have on my 788 is 1.04. And so that would be what you would want to flash. You go to the Monoprice website and you can download it and flash it on there. It has all the instructions on. So make sure that you get the newest one. Fixes some issues with the outputs and things like that. In debating whether to get the 789 or the Monoprice amp deck, yeah, the firmware update does fix a few of the minor issues that it had. When on the original, I think some of the initial reviews of it were a little critical because it had some output impedance problems, and they fixed that. They corrected that with the first update that came out, and then they've updated it a little bit since. A couple things with the EQ were adjusted and things like that. Yeah, there's a lot of THX now. The SMSL SB200 is out. Have not heard that. Seems like it'd be a fairly good budget one. It is the cheapest of all the THXs, but even though I've used SMSL gear, I'm not a massive fan of them. I'm a little skeptical, kind of the same with SMSL and topping. It's kind of a little bit, it's buying cheaper quality. So you're to me, there's going to be some limitations in it. But again, I haven't heard it or used it, and I would love to. It's a cheaper end model than some of the higher ends, and when you change models and manufacturers, you do get different levels of build quality and implementations. That's just my take on it. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think there are better ones out there. Caleb, thanks for stopping by. Do greatly appreciate it. And I think I'm actually going to head out also for the day. I do greatly appreciate everybody that has swung by. And the only reason why I'm cutting it short is my wife tried contacting me via video chat. So I need to actually talk with my wife, be a good husband. So anyways, do greatly appreciate everybody that's come by. And one last shilling Don't forget to check out the links down below for Patreon and for Super Chats and for Discord, PayPal, emails. If you want to loan out any gear, check all that stuff out down below. I am going to start posting some more live stream stuff on a regular basis. I'm going to try to do that, probably maybe do something twice a month. Let me know kind of in Discord what time frames work for you. I am in the middle of the United States, right dead center Midwest, and I'm on Eastern Standard Time. So if a certain time frame works for you, maybe you're Pacific Coast, maybe you are over in Europe or something like that, let me know and we will try to arrange a certain time. Days, what works for you also. And again, I do greatly appreciate everybody swinging by today, and I appreciate all of the subscribers. Speaking of, if you haven't subscribed yet, check out the links, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank you. Have yourself a great night.